All right, welcome. We're not going to do a special memorial tribute to anybody today. We're simply going to talk about a variety of news, starting with Karl Rove, deposed on the 2006 and 2007 firings of 9 U.S. attorneys. I said judges. I was wrong earlier. I clarify that. Attorneys. NBC White House correspondent Savannah Guthrie has been following this in Rome. I'll get to Savannah. Oh, Savannah, I wasn't sure I was going to have you. Makes me happy. Nice to see you, Savannah. What's going on with Mr. Rove?
Hi there. Well, he's finally testified before the House Judiciary Committee, and this is a long time in coming, ever since those 9 U.S. attorneys were fired. Let's face it, Democrats on the Hill had their eyes on Karl Rove. They have always suspected that these firings were politically motivated. Now, let's be clear, U.S. attorneys do serve at the pleasure of the president, but the allegation all along was that these particular U.S. attorneys were fired because they weren't prosecuting the kinds of cases that Republican politicians, that those in the White House like Karl Rove wanted them to prosecute. This is an allegation, of course, Karl Rove has always denied. Because of executive privilege, because of all kinds of legal wrangling, it was very hard for the House Judiciary Committee to get Rove before the committee. They wanted Harriet Miers, the former White House counsel, as well. Now they have, essentially because Rove's lawyer struck a deal with the House Judiciary Committee to have Rove come and testify. It wasn't under oath, but at the end of the day, that it doesn't matter that much because, look, he could always be prosecuted for false statements. So he's essentially testifying under the possibility of penalty of perjury if he doesn't tell the truth. He's not done yet either. I can tell you, report right now, that he's got at least one other day before the House Judiciary Committee. When his interviews are done, they are permitted under this deal to release a transcript, so we'll know more about the substance of what he said.
Yeah, Jonathan Capehart, are you there? I want to bring in, if you are, the question for the Democrats has to be, as they try to reform health care, as they try to deal with what will be an emerging energy conversation around hoarding in the commodities market, as they try to deal with the foreign policy aspects, do they not have the room or political currency to go after Karl Rove at this point? In other words, are they fighting an old battle when there are too many new ones coming?
Well, sir, they're fighting an old battle already. They're already investigating. They've been investigating. So I think they can do a lot of things all at once. Clearly, health care and climate change are the big agenda items for Congress. But remember, this isn't the entire Congress looking at the actions of Karl Rove, but it's just the House Judiciary Committee. So I think, as a journalist, I appreciate what the committee is doing because I want to know. I want the answers.
Sure.
I want to find out what his involvement was.
How much of a can of worms is this potentially for the entire, at least the Bush Republicans? In other words, is this just a Karl Rove investigation, or if this goes in a certain direction, does this have threads that will go back to the former president, back to other associates of the former president, et cetera?
Well, we'll find out when the Judiciary Committee finishes its work and we get to read these transcripts just to be able to find out exactly what Karl Rove knew, what he did, and what kind of role or how big a role he played in the firings of those 9 prosecutors from around the country. And it also should be pointed out, I can't remember if this was pointed out before, but an internal Bush investigation into the matter showed that there were some political considerations in the firing of at least 4 of the 9 people who were fired. So this is something that I think it's a past thing in the Bush administration. I don't think it will have any tentacles out to any of the Republicans who are thinking of running in 2012. I think this is closing the loop on some old issues.
All right.